All right, everybody. Good afternoon. We've got some Seattle Seahawk breaking news, although it's not so breaking at this point. It was about an hour and a half ago that it got announced, but nevertheless, it is some very good news from the Seattle Seahawks, at least in my book. And I think most Seahawks fans are going to be able to get behind this one. This is pretty clearly a good move and pretty clearly good news. I don't think there's going to be much discussion here. The Seattle Seahawks have extended the contract of punter Michael Dickson. Michael Dickson, one of the best to do it, one of the best to ever do it, maybe. We'll need more time on that one, but so far his career has been pretty special. Michael Dickson has been given a 4-year contract extension. He was entering the last year of his deal, so he is now signed through 2029. So basically, his contract now runs through the next 5 years. So, again, I don't think this is going to be very controversial. I think that pretty much every Seahawks fan understands that Michael Dickson is very, very good at his job and that Michael Dickson is very, very valuable to this team. So, 4-year extension on top of the 1 year left. He's going to be here for a while, and punters can play a long time. Punters frequently play until they're 40. So a few of them play beyond 40. So he may end up being the, excuse me, longest tenured Seahawk ever by the time he hangs it up. And contracts like this are going to help. Now, as for what the contract is, according to a source, Dickson's extension is for $16.2 million, mostly guaranteed, about $10.2 million of it guaranteed, max value of 16.7. So just taking the 16.2 number, because the incentives are clearly very, very minor. We're talking about $500,000 over a 4-year extension. That means that he's making $4.05 million per season on average. We don't know exactly how the contract will break out. It also doesn't really matter that much. If you take a look at what his cap hit was going to be for 2025 versus what it will be now, the difference is probably very, very minor. We're probably talking about like maybe saving $500,000. Nothing that's really going to move the needle, nothing that's really going to open up salary cap space in a meaningful way. We have plenty of salary cap space. If we want to go do something with our salary cap space, the money we have as of before this extension is more than enough. So I'm not even really thinking about that angle on it. But it's going to be a 4-year extension worth just over $4 million per. So this will make him the league's highest paid punter, a distinction he also held after his last extension. And according to overthecap.com, he actually held it with the last extension even before this new extension. So OTC hasn't updated with his new contract yet, but you can see that if you sort the list of punters on OTC by average per year, Dickson was already at the top of the list at 3.67. So basically call it 3.7. That was more than any other punter. The closest was Jack Fox of the Detroit Lions, who was making about $3.5 million per year. So with this new extension, Michael Dickson is going to be the first punter in NFL history to have a contract giving him more than $4 million a year. And I believe, other than himself, he will also be the first punter to make over 3.5, because Jack Fox was coming in at just under 3.5. And I doubt that any expired punter contracts or any voided punter contracts were more than this because of the nature of the NFL salary cap. So he is, by a pretty good margin, by more than 10%, the highest paid punter in NFL history per year, other than himself. So also, he's got a very high percentage of his contract guaranteed. If you look at these other punters near the top of the list here, pretty much all of them have somewhere between 30% and 55% of their contract guaranteed, and his is going to be significantly more than that, 10.2. So we definitely rolled out the red carpet for Dickson compared to other punters. But again, with the way the salary cap keeps going up, with the way that Dickson is clearly one of the best punters in the game, with the fact that he is a, beloved player and a very valuable player to have, I don't think there's going to be any consternation about this. Punters matter, and depending on how the offense does this year, there's a chance that he's really going to matter for this team, because this is a team that's probably going to win with defense, and part of winning with defense is setting them up properly with good special teams play, and we're probably going to have to be leaning on our defense, excuse me, a good amount more than we're going to be leaning on the offense. So a guy like Dickson has a lot to offer. So that's the news of the day. My understanding is the Seahawks have just have gotten out there on the field for their mini camp. I may make a video about whatever happens out there later today or tomorrow morning. We'll just kind of see when the stuff comes in. I don't want to make a super late video today, but this is the news of the hour. Congratulations to Michael Dickson. He deserves it. I know he's only a one-time Pro Bowler, and I know some people are going to look at that and be like, well, how good is he really? But year after year after year, he is among the best punters in the league. He doesn't get honored as one as frequently as he probably should. If there's one player on this team that gets disrespected at Pro Bowl time over the last several years, I think it is Dickson. So I'm not reading into that. We know that he's probably, maybe he's not the best punter in the league, but he is consistently a top 3 punter every single year. It's kind of like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was never the best quarterback in the league when he was here. There was always at least one guy who was better than him from year to year, but he was consistently a top 3 quarterback for most of those years. Dickson's kind of the same way. And I think that there are some years where he pretty clearly was a top 1 punter in the league, and he just didn't get honored like it, which, whatever. It's not like it really matters. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how good he is, not whether or not they decide to give him a Hawaii invite at the end of the season. So, great news. Great news. Getting it done. I know that the contract looks a little bit daunting because it is significantly bigger than any other punter contract. Again, it's actually closing in on 20% bigger than second place. But again, it's not enough money to really affect anything as long as he remains one of the best in the game. And with punters, I don't think there's reason to believe that there's going to be a lot of variance. Punters do their thing. Punters know what's up. Punters produce at their high level of play if they are high level players year after year after year. They have the occasional bad punt, maybe a bad game, but they don't slump over an extended period of time typically. All right. So that's what's going on with Michael Dickson. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. Maybe another video later today. Maybe a video tomorrow morning. We'll see. But let me know what you think. Congratulations, Michael Dickson, making some money.